The second race of the weekend here in the ABB FIA Formula E World Championship signifies the start of the second half of the seaseason. The CBMM Niobium Puebla E-Prix is round 9 of the championship, and on a beautiful day here in Mexico, this is how the grid is going to line up around this wonderful circuit in the middle of the Mexico countryside. Once again, it's the championship contenders that are down towards the back of the order. René Rast is at the back of the field. He did not have a good run in qualifying at all. You've got Robin Freins in 21st, Acosta second in the standings, 22nd. Nick de Vries is in 19th place for Mercedes EQ. Mitch Evans and Stoffel van Doorn are front runners as well. It really is a who's who of Formula E, but at the back of the grid, Sam Bird was in the second group, and he was excited for that, but made a mistake, and as a result is only down in 15th place on the grid. You've got Lucas de Grassi, the race winner from yesterday, who's 13th for the Audi Sport at Schaeffler team. Max Günther missing out on the top 10 for a rare time this season. He's been in Superpole an awful lot, but couldn't quite get it hooked up in the BMW I Andretti Motorsport entry. That's 24 to 11, but these are the top 10 that will score points if the race finishes as it starts. The chances of that happening almost zero. There is Günther on the left. Just behind him is the other Tag Heuer Porsche of Andre Lotterer. He starts 10th on the grid, looking to pick up some points. He's struggling this season, only 1 points finish, and that was when he finished second a few races ago in Valencia. Tom Blomqvist is 9th for the Neo team after a very impressive qualifying performance for what is arguably the slowest car on the grid. Then you've got Nick Cassidy for the Envision Virgin team. He lines up 8th. The Kiwi driver from Auckland is starting behind Sebastian Buemi, 7th on the grid for the Nissan Edams van. His teammate, though, is on pole position, so we'll see whether Buemi can battle his way up the field. Alex Lynn qualified 3rd, but was guilty of a technical infringement in Superpole, so he was knocked back down to 6th place. Jake Dennis lost the tyres in his Superpole run, so ended up 5th quickest despite topping the qualifying groups. Jean-Eric Vergne, for the 3rd time in a row, starts 4th on the grid. He finished 4th in Monaco, retired from the race yesterday. Can he pick up some points today? Eduardo Mortara, 3rd yesterday and 3rd on the grid again today for the Rocket Venturi team. He is looking for his 3rd podium of the season. And then the front row, Pascal Wehrlein looking for redemption after being disqualified from the race win yesterday in the Tag Heuer Porsche. He is up against Oliver Rowland, the pole sitter. The Nissan driver could move to the top of the championship if he wins the race today. The cars all lined up, ready to go for this 45-minute +1 lap race. We're in for a lot of battles at the back, we're in for a lot of battles at the front. We've got attack mode to contend with, we've got fan boost in there as well. Dario Franchitti, this is going to be a fascinating E-Prix.
It is, absolutely. It's almost back to front with the championship runners at the back. Let's see how far they can get forward, but the battle between the guys you see there is going to be fascinating. Oliver Rowland, Pascal Wehrlein, if they've got to get through the first corner first, and then the race is on.
Yesterday, the left-hand side of the grid as we look at it, so the odd-numbered positions, Rowland, Mortara, Dennis, Buemi, that got a much, much better start.
Yeah, the clean side of the grid absolutely make a massive difference here.
Green flag waved at the back. Round 9 of the Formula E World Championship about to get underway. Rowland on pole, Wehrlein alongside him on the front row of the grid. Mortara and Vergne are on row 2. The championship leaders are at the back of the pack. All 5 lights are on. And we go green in Puebla. Good start from Rowland this time, and it also looks like a good start from Jean-Eric Vergne. Mortara's coming up alongside Pascal Wehrlein. Mortara's on the outside, coming into the braking zone for turn 1. He's going to outbrake Wehrlein, is he, as they come into the first corner? He is. Mortara is up into 2nd place. Vergne and Dennis are going side by side through the right-hander now of turn 2. Look how dirty it is on the exit of that corner, but Rowland holds the lead. Mortara 2nd, Wehrlein, Dennis, Vergne, Lynn and Buemi are going side by side. Nick Cassidy's getting involved in there as well. Damage for Stoffel van Doorn. He's damaged his front right bodywork. Whether he's damaged the wheel as well, we'll have to wait and see. But Rowland has got away, and it was that clean side of the grid, the left-hand side, that got the best getaway. Buemi's dropping down the order a little bit. Bird has made up a couple of places and got into 12th position. De Grassi, yesterday's winner, has gone from 13th down to 15th. But Rowland is away in the lead.
Breathe, Jack, breathe. Yeah, I think there's some damage to the other Venturi of Norman Nato as well. I think he was the one that hit the Mercedes EQ. Spreads out, heavy braking zone in turn 11. Is anybody feeling brave enough right now? You see, is that one of the Neils trying to defend a little bit?
Yep, it's Blomqvist who's just ahead of Sam Bird, and the Mexican fans on their feet in the grandstands. Great to have the fans back at this race. some of the most passionate in the world, if not the most passionate, really.
And they've sat out there in the sun all afternoon, watched qualifying, and they've sat out there since then in the baking heat.
Through the final backed corner at turn 15.
I see Alex Lynn in the orange and white Mahindra. Looks like he's setting up for a pass to Jean-Eric Verne in the black and gold Techeetah.
He's right up behind him, isn't he, as they come down towards the first corner. Is he going to have a look? No, he's dropped back, and there's a look from Buemi, though. Sebastian Buemi on the attack straight away, past Nick Cassidy, and that is 7th position now for the Swiss racer. There's Robin Freitzer. He's dropped back at the start. Only 1 place, admittedly, but he's back down to 22nd place. Van Doorn and De Vries, the 2 drivers that kind of gained the most places. De Vries started 19th. He's got 2 places. That's out of the championship contenders who are at the back of the field. But Roland said he wanted to lead this race from the front, and he is now, but he's just kicked up the dirt coming out of turn 7. Looks like he's got away with it for the moment through the right-hand hairpin at turn 8.
And looking further back in the field championship contender, Sam Bird has gone from 15th to 12th, so that's a fairly healthy move in the first lap.
42 minutes plus 1 lap to go. There is Bird. He is right up behind Tom Blomqvist, the British driver in the Neo that's going to be struggling in this race, because Neo is one of the slowest cars, and there he goes, he forces his way through, and Sims tries to come through as well, and Alexander Sims takes 2 places. Brilliant opportunistic move from the Mahindra driver, and Bird goes forward 1 place, goes back another place, and he almost gets a tag from Blomqvist. The Jaguars and the Neos, as you may have noticed, with very similar paint schemes, but it is a Jaguar, then a Neo, then a Jaguar. The 3rd car in that queue is Mitch Evans, and he has got yesterday's race winner Lucas de Grassi right behind him as they come through the final corner. Attack mode activation zone is now open, and you have to use it twice during the race for a period of 4 minutes. Down into turn 1 we go again.
And normally the attack mode activation zone is on the outside of the circuit. This weekend in Puebla, as we see Lucas de Grassi making a very late move, this time in Puebla it's actually on a different part of the circuit, and it caused some issues yesterday when the cars were rejoining, so we'll see more of that when the drivers start using it. And Tom Blomqvist still hanging on to the back of Sam Bird, and I think he's probably feeling a bit aggrieved, depending how aggressive Sam's move was. Probably trying to give him a little tap back in turn 13 a lap ago.
Cars flash through turn 7.
You've got to say that Jake Dennis, Jean-Eric Verne battle 4, 5, Alex Lynn 6. They're all starting to queue up behind the blue and white BMW.
But it's Oliver Rowland that has broken away in the lead of the race in the early stages. There is Jean-Eric Verne in the black and gold DS Techeetah. That's Pascal Wehrlein running in 3rd place now. Wehrlein said on the grid that, you know, they were so good on their energy management yesterday that he's not going to be too stressed if he doesn't take the lead of the race. They can afford to play the long game. But the thing with Formula E is it changes so rapidly day to day. Just because you were good yesterday doesn't mean you're going to be good today.
Well, they say in racing, if you stand still, you're going backwards. And Alex Lynn is definitely trying to go forwards here. You see him in the Mahindra, trying to set up Jean-Eric Verne. Hopefully the power management of that car is good enough for him today that he can start attacking and heading forward. The DS Techeetah of Jean-Eric Verne in 5th place has been very strong this season.
Down into turn 1, Blomqvist and Bird are still right together. Blomqvist is doing a great job, and there's a look from Sergio Sette Camera, and he whacks Oliver Turvey, coming from a long, long way back there. Sette Camera gains a place up into 19th position, but it was robust, let's say.
Yeah, gained a place, lost some bodywork, but that was way, way too late. I don't know if he was out of control. Such a low grip surface, but yeah, if you're Oliver Turvey, you're going to be a little bit upset about that one. Hopefully didn't knock the toe out, the rear toe of Oliver Turvey's car. Now
in the past, or yesterday, we saw a lot of drivers towards the back of the grid activating their attack mode early. Robin Freitz has done that. So the championship leader has got his Envision Virgin racing car out of the way, or his first one out of the way. Having a look at the replay here, and it all got piled in behind, didn't it? Sims was very aggressive. Nato was involved. It was carnage, really, down at turn 4.
And it looked like Tom Blomqvist on the outside backed everybody up, and Sam Bird had nowhere to go. And that sort of set it off on the outside, on the right-hand side here. But this is close quarters racing.
Oh.
There you go, crunchy carbon fibre. The parts area of Formula E had actually run out of some of the parts before the weekend had even started.
This is on board with Mitch Evans as he was watching it unfold towards the back of the queue. Some robust action in the middle of the midfield on the opening lap. Mitch Evans seeing Alexander Sims hit the side of Lucas Di Grassi, but it's Oliver Rowland who is still leading this E-Prix. Mortara is second, Verline is third, and that's Nick de Vries going past Norman Nato and getting up into 16th position. But Rowland's lead is a second, then it's half a second from Mortara in second to Pascal Verline in third. Jake Dennis still sitting fairly comfortably, to be honest, in fourth position. And Oliver Rowland in the lead coming down to turn 8, and he activates attack mode then. So Rowland from the lead goes early, comes through the activation zone now, and he will have an extra 35 kilowatts of power for 4 minutes, and you have to use it twice during the race. He's come out in front of Jean-Eric Verne, so it's fourth place for Oliver Rowland. Not too bad, and now he'll try and use this extra power to climb back up the order. Oh, and there goes Nick Cassidy trying to find Buemi all locked up. Lotterer getting involved in the black, white and red Porsche as well, but no one in the end made any progress there. And well, there's another attack from Alexander Sims. He's passing people everywhere today.
Sims had his porridge this morning. The Mahindras look good because Jean-Eric Verne in fourth is having to defend fairly hard from Alex Lynn in fifth. So this is, or in sixth, sorry. So this is looking good for the Mahindra guys this early in the race.
Now here comes Rowland. He needs to not get held up behind cars that are not in attack mode, and this is where he's going to try and get past Jake Dennis. Jake Dennis defends vigorously. As you can see, Sete Camera and Turvey under investigation for causing an incident, and then Rowland came back and squeezed him into the wall. Those two haven't raced together wheel to wheel since their karting days, when Rowland put Dennis in the wall, according to Dennis.
Yeah, I believe that's what Dennis said yesterday. And I think he was looking, he's having a bit of deja vu in that situation. Just settling down for a minute. That was a good move by Rowland. The big problem when these guys converge from the attack mode activation zone, we saw 2 incidents yesterday, the 2 championship contenders, Sam Bird, Jean-Eric Verne, taken out of contention right there. But you have to remember, the car on track has the right of way.
36 minutes plus 1 lap to go. Di Grassi there, coming through in 13th position. There is Mortara in the lead, Verline in second place. Then there's a gap back to Oliver Rowland in third, but he's activated his first attack mode. Now through the right-hander of turn 13, then to the left of 14. And Rowland on this lap is not actually closing in on Mortara and Verline in front. So even though he's got that extra power, maybe choosing not to deploy it necessarily, or to still save a lot of energy. Here's Nick Cassidy, who's been fighting with Sebastian Buemi for quite a long time. He's right behind the BMW driver now. Buemi later on the brakes, going into the first corner. Cassidy defending a little. Presumably Andre Lotterer is somewhere around there that Cassidy felt he needed to cover off, and he's still there in 8th position at the moment. And that's Joel Eriksson having a squabble with Oliver Turvey, and Turvey getting in front. There's Jake Dennis, 4th position for him at the moment. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Dennis ahead of Verne, and Dennis is running fairly well at the moment. Picked up a 5th place finish yesterday. There goes Mortara onto the dirty stuff, and he emerges just behind Dennis then, and goes for it straight away, coming into 7th. Gets the move done.
Yeah, he was on the inside line, so he had to make that move count, and they timed that to perfection, the Venturi team, because now he's got the clear track and he can close the gap back up to Rowland. As we see Jean-Eric Verne making a move on Jake Dennis. I don't think he was expecting that. Jake caught Jake Dennis napping just a little bit, and Jake's holding the cars up behind. Watch out for some contact in all the different cars behind Jake Dennis at the moment. They really battle for position wheel to wheel.
Cassidy under big pressure from Lotterer in the purple Envision Virgin racing car. This is back on board with Alexander Sims, always looking for a little nose up the inside somewhere, isn't he? He's made good progress today as Sims. And they come down through the banked corner.
You see Lynn is right up behind the BMW of Jake Dennis. Dennis defends again.
Moves back, covers the inside. Nothing doing this time for Alex Lynn, running in that 6th spot. Rowland now is out of attack mode, so he has used his first attack mode, and he's only 1.4 seconds back from Verline. So if Verline were to do it now, which I would suggest he may do, he would drop back behind Rowland. He's just on the fastest first sector of anyone, Pascal Verline, so maybe a bit of a push before he goes into the attack mode activation. Indeed, and Rowland follows him in. So Roland, and Roland's much, much quicker through the attack mode activation there and comes out side by side with Jean-Eric Verne. Roland has got both of his attack modes done in the first 12 minutes of this E-Prix. Very aggressive attack mode strategy from Nissan.
Exactly what I was going to say, Jack. Very aggressive strategy. They're here to win today. They're not interested in second, third, fourth place points. They want to win this race. We've got a yellow flag on the circuit at turn 9. Track is now clear at turn 9. Yeah, so now the strategy is happening. It's like a game of chess, but there's 23 players in it, and every move that another team makes, that dictates what you should do. I think Oliver Rowland, though, that's a very strong move from the Nissan team. I like it.
Sergio Cine Camera given a 5-second time penalty for causing that collision with Oliver Turvey. That seems about fair enough. Here they come again. Love it.
Through the banked turn 15, the oval corner. See, Sims looks like he's trying to set up Motara from 10th and 9th. Let's look at the energy numbers.
Well, Verline has a little more than Oliver Rowland, but it's still Eduardo Mortara who is leading the way at the moment here in Puebla. So Mortara in the lead, Verline second, and De Vries is in the pits. Has he got a left rear puncture? De Vries has a left rear puncture, I'm sure of it, as he comes into the pit lane.
You can see, Jack, the right front is off the ground at left rear. It's either a puncture or he's damaged the left rear suspension. Either way, it's a difficult one. His day's probably over. As we see Buemi going for attack mode.
Well, Verline.
Honestly, I don't know what to say.
So that's De Vries asking, did you guys see it on TV? He's not asking us, he's asking the team, but we didn't, I'm afraid. We'll try and get you a replay, Nick, and we can show the team it, but he's obviously been in some kind of collision out there.
As the cars go through turn 11, the circuit is having a bit of break-up on the outside, so you don't want to go too wide there. You get into the marbles, and that becomes like ice. And there's rubber marbles on the circuit too. As the tyre wears, it puts off these little marbles of rubber, and those are like ice. So you've got to stay on line today, even when you're trying to make some of these moves. Just look on the bottom left of your screen. Those are the rubber marbles. Seems equally spaced right now through the top 6.
Through the final corner they come. And back down the start, finish straight. Mortara is leading the E-Prix. Pascal Verline is second, but they both have another attack mode to take, whereas Oliver Rowland does not. They're side by side with Nato. That was Nato and Bird, and they are fighting further. No, sorry, it was Nato and Van Dorn and Bird and Blomqvist. No, Evans and Blomqvist fighting. One of the Jaguars was involved somewhere, and Nato's in 12th place at the moment.
Yeah, both Jaguars took their attack mode activation zone. Blomqvist in the Neo got past them both again, so they've got all that work to do. Again, that's part of the strategy of when you take attack mode and how many places you lose.
Oliver Rowland still in the net lead of this E-Prix, even though he's in 3rd place at the moment. Mortara and Verline still have to activate their attack mode, which will give Rowland the lead of the race back. Through turn 8. Now this is a replay of Lucas de Grassi hitting the back of Nick de Vries as they came up into the left-hander of turn 7. That has caused Nick de Vries to retire from the Puebla E-Prix, this 9th round of the ABB FIA Formula E World Championship. And that's why de Vries got a puncture. He is out of the race, and that was really unfortunate for the Mercedes driver.
Yeah, that was a fairly aggressive move from Lucas de Grassi. I'm sure they'll be looking at that. Mortara, though, if he can pull a gap, Jack, then that negates almost Oliver Rowland having taken both attack modes so far. If he can get far enough ahead, right now, as it flies, he's 2.6 seconds ahead of Oliver Rowland. It's going to be tight if he takes it this lap.
Yeah, it will be close. So if he can keep up this pace, then he's in a not bad position at all, Eduardo Mortara. But you can see behind, Verne, Dennis, Lynn, Cassidy, Lotterer and Sims all have 2 attack modes remaining. De Vries and de Grassi under investigation for causing a collision, but yeah, so it's very different strategies. Rowland has used up all his attack mode. They're done. But the rest of that top group have got either 1 more, in the case of Mortara and Verline, or 2 more from 4th to 9th.
Because they don't have the luxury, 4th to 9th. You could actually go from 4th to 9th. As we see 3 of them all take it at the same time.
So that is Verne, Dennis and Lynn all activating at the same time. Lotterer gets up ahead of them then. So Lotterer is now up into 4th position. Oh, there's Sims and Van Dorn fighting. And that is now for 10th, 11th position. Verne is now defending hard from Jake Dennis. And those 3 are battling on track for position. What I think will be a net 4th place, because Nick Cassidy's now up in 4th position. Simples.
Just looking at the gap, is the gap growing between Mortara and Roland? That could be key to the victory of this race. We haven't seen Wehrlein really flex his muscles yet in the Porsche. Now, as these guys go through here, 235 kilowatts of power under attack mode, that makes this corner a lot faster, puts a lot more pressure on the tyres as well, so you've got to take that into account in how you attack this circuit, because tyre wear is one issue, energy management is another, and you've got to do all that while going quickly, making positions and trying not to lose them.
We're 100 kilometers southeast of Mexico City here in Puebla, as, well, Mitch Evans braked from about 100 kilometers southeast of Sam Bird there. Super late on the brakes from Evans, and he's now in 14th, Bird in 15th. Watching Pascal Wehrlein in the inset in the top left, trying to chase down Eduardo Mortara at the moment. Mortara's got a good advantage over Roland, 3.3 seconds now, and that's a second attack mode. Is it for Wehrlein? Yes, it is. So Wehrlein goes for a second attack mode, and it was so close with Cassidy when he came back onto the track, and Cassidy is through. Up in the top left, you're seeing this. Everybody else is taking it in the main picture too, but Wehrlein activates his second attack mode, and Nick Cassidy here in the purple Envision Virgin Racing car, back up into third, or now up into third position, I should say, and he hasn't taken any attack modes yet. Lotter in deep into the right-hander, and he's squeezing Sims in the wall, and he's just not letting him through. Sims forces his way past in the end. Some of the advertising is coming with the BMW of, well, all of the cars. There's some on the back,
and the BMW.
there's some on the back of Gunter as well. Gunter's got it like a parachute on a drag racer, but 27 minutes left on the clock.
I was going to say that will definitely create some drag through this section, and the drivers are heading into a headwinds now from turn 15 down the straight where you see them at this moment. Yeah, Nick Cassidy, he's really rolling the dice with not taking any attack modes up until this point.
Andre Lotterer is, that's a late move. Gunter going for Sims, and he gets through.
Yeah, I think Sims could do there. He caught him so late, sort of not napping, but Sims was trying to lift and coast and regenerate, put energy back into the battery, because you've got to regenerate something like an extra 30% energy into the battery just to make the end of the race.
Mortara here is having a fantastic race. He's out in the lead, he's 4.6, and he's just activated his second attack mode. Eduardo Mortara in the race lead. Has he managed to keep ahead of Oliver Roland? I think he has. I think Eduardo Mortara is now the race leader of the Puebla E-Prix. There he is. The black and white Venturi is out in front. Roland is second, Wehrlein is third, and suddenly the Swiss racer, looking for his second win in the championship, is in the lead for the Monegasque Venturi team. And if he wins the race, he would go to the top of the standings. And there's more contact further back with Nato and Buemi. Buemi getting ahead. Nato losing trouble. Places. Yeah. There's all sorts of debris on the front of Jean-Eric Verne.
He's damaged the front. Look at the front tyres towing in on the Venturi.
So Nato's out of the running now, but the other Venturi has taken the lead of the race. There it is. Eduardo Mortara leads. Roland second. Wehrlein third. Verne fourth. Dennis fifth. Cassidy sixth. Seventh is Alex Lynn, and then there's a big gap back to Gunter behind. This top group have really broken away.
Yeah, and Cassidy actually did a great job there managing to take the attack mode, and he just managed to stay ahead of Alex Lynn as we see Mitch Evans in the Jaguar on the inside making the move.
And Freins is attacking Antonio Felix da Costa coming into turn one, and Freins gets through.
And da Costa's got some of the advertising hoarding on his car too.
Everyone is advertising Julius Baer this afternoon, aren't they? They're taking it around the track. That'll be a little extra on the sponsorship charges, I think.
Got to say, when Marco Peroni's going to pay them a bonus.
Yeah. 25 minutes plus 1 lap to go. This is Verne and Dennis and Lynn going through their second attack mode activation. Mortara still leading, 1.6 seconds ahead of Oliver Roland. Wehrlein third, Cassidy fourth still, then Verne, Dennis, Lynn. So Nick Cassidy's done a great job here to get him into a sort of comfortable-ish fourth place at the moment.
Oh, absolutely, and Jean-Eric Verne holding up Jake Dennis just a little bit. Lynn's got more energy behind the pair of them, so can he use that to get past? And you can see the amount of people making mistakes in turn 11 as this baking sun on this surface really tortures the tyres, especially around this last turn 15 that Edo Mortara is going around right now. No such problems for him. He's doing a fantastic job.
Wonderful drive this from Eduardo Mortara, leading the way for the Venturi team. He got a podium finish yesterday with a third place finish. He's scored points in every race he's entered in Mexico, and that's continuing today. He's leading. side by side here with Alexander Sims and Andre Motara. No love lost at the moment because I think Motara was a bit peeved at that move from Alexander Sims a few moments ago, although it looked to me as though Motara squeezed Sims into the wall rather than the other way around, but Motara was pretty furious on the radio. There's a yellow flag at turn 8, so there's a yellow flag down here somewhere. Why? Can't see anything. Maybe in the attack mode runoff?
You and I agree on that. I think Motara was... Oh, there's...
Oh, it's Turvey. It's Oliver Turvey has stopped in the runoff area. Degrassi's been given a drive-through penalty for causing a collision when he hit the back of Nick de Vries.
And that takes him out of 14th place.
There is Turvey out. The Neo breaking down by the looks of things. And there is Eduardo Mortara in the Rocket Venturi. It looked for all the world as though Roland had this under control, but when Mortara, Turvey saying it won't go into the gear.
Clear the errors, hold plus/minus buttons.
But I think that's the end of the run for Oliver Turvey. But Eduardo Mortara comfortably leading this E-Prix. He comes across the line, does a 1 minute 26.7, and that is half a second quicker than Oliver Roland.
And he's doing it using little energy, which is one of the challenges. I could use a lot of energy and go fast, or I could go slow and save a lot of energy, but to do what Eduardo Mortara is doing, very, very impressive, as he's just about to run out of his second attack mode.
Now, he's got 51% energy, Roland has 51%, Wehrlein has more. So that is interesting, that Wehrlein has more energy. Mitch Evans is going past Sam Bird, who's lost his front right. Van Doorn is going past de Grassi, who's got to serve a drive-through penalty, but that energy on the left there suggests that Mortara has really good pace. In fact, he's got a tiny bit more than Oliver Roland up at the front. This is a really great drive for the Venturi team.
And you see Cassidy with 52%, but he's still got to use his second attack mode, and that uses more energy.
Andre Motara going through to activate his second attack mode in the Porsche. He has come out in 12th position, I think, behind Sam Bird and Mitch Evans. But Eduardo Mortara, the Italian-Swiss racer in the Rocket Venturi, is the man leading the way. Oh, that's where it all got crunchy with Bird. Sandwiched in, so de Grassi's got involved in another scrap here, and he's gone into Bird, and Bird's gone into Buemi, and everybody else is just piling around trying to find some space.
And if Bird does not have suspension damage there, I will be shocked.
Look at this, they're all side by side through turn 7. There we go, de Grassi just ploughing into the back of Bird at 7.
Yeah, but would the Nissan have a problem at the front of that pack, I guess? Clearly, Buemi's now 18. I think Buemi might have had a problem at the front of that group of cars, backed everybody up, and well, you saw what happened.
Now, battle for second place is on. Wehrlein here has caught Oliver Roland. These two started on the front row of the grid. Roland is in the black and red Nissan Edams car, the British driver who started on pole. Pascal Wehrlein is third, the driver who took the win yesterday before being disqualified. And they're both 2.2 seconds behind Eduardo Mortara, who is in the lead of this E-Prix. Pascal Wehrlein, Stoffel Van Doorn, Antonio Felix da Costa and Lucas de Grassi, you can see on the left there, are the winners of the fan boost. And that means they get an extra power boost in the second half of the race. They can boost up to 250 kilowatts. The other winner was Nick de Vries, but he is out of the race. So that could be crucial for Pascal Wehrlein in his attempts to get past Oliver Roland. I feel like Wehrlein wants to win this E-Prix still. He's got 20 minutes plus 1 lap to go. He looks like he's in a better position than Oliver Roland at the moment in terms of energy, in terms of just pure lap time, and he's right up behind the British driver. If he can get through into second place, he'll try and hunt down Mortara in the lead of this race.
Absolutely right. The pace was definitely there in the Porsche yesterday. As we say, track conditions a bit different today, but he's going to just close that gap bit by bit. Oh, he's done it all at once. Look, he's just under braking for turn 1. He's closed the gap to Oliver Roland. Now he's got to try and make the move, get past, and head off after Eduardo Mortara. But Eduardo Mortara looks good. I wonder if he's managing the gap again, managing his tyre wear, managing his energy consumption, and still going to try to go quick. You see the throttle when they're coasting, when they lift off, when they brake, the regen is a paddle on the wheel. That basically turns the engine into reverse, puts the motor into reverse, puts energy back into the battery. And it's a constant juggling act these drivers are doing. On board, Pascal Wehrlein in the Porsche.
Nick Cassidy in 4th place is 3.2 seconds clear of Jean-Eric Vergne. So I think, oh, and he's actually just done it. As I say that, Nick
Oliver
Cassidy
Roland's hit the inside wall. Look at the damage to the tyre. Has he damaged the wheel enough that he's going to get a flat tyre, or has he damaged the suspension? Looks like it. Ah, it's a mistake by Oliver Roland.
Wehrlein through into second place. An error from Oliver Rowland, and now Wehrlein will set off to attack Eduardo Mortara in the lead of the E-Prix. Frustration at Nissan Edams, but even without the mistake, I think he's not got the race pace today, Oliver Rowland, to keep Wehrlein behind, because he is on a mission of redemption.
And if I'm Oliver Rowland now, I'm just managing that gap. I'm going to try and hang on to Pascal Wehrlein, but if the car is in any way damaged, I'm trying to hang on for the podium. Let's see if his steering wheel is straight when he gets to the straight part. That will tell us some way about the damage. It looks pretty straight. Yeah. So he might be all right, in which case, let's see if he goes battling back and tries to take the battle to Pascal Wehrlein. But Wehrlein already closing that gap to Eduardo Mortara in the Venturi ahead of him.
Driver's eye, this. The camera right inside the helmet of Oliver Rowland as he got a little bit out of shape there, coming through the left-hander. Right, Robin Freins is with Stoffel van Doorn. They are fighting over 13th position, and Freins is in the purple Envision Virgin car. He's the championship leader, looking to get any points that he can out of this. Eduardo Mortara, if he wins the race, would be the championship leader. Here's a look at the replay of Wehrlein taking second place.
That's the pass into 11. The incident happened in 10. He just collected the inside wall. It's one of the difficulties of what they're trying to do. And yeah, look at the damage on the left front. You've got to apex as close to that wall as you can, because that's where the grip is, Jack. But overdo it, we've just seen what happens.
Wehrlein up into second place now. But there is the race leader, Eduardo Mortara, in the 48 Rocket Venturi car. And he is 1.7 seconds ahead of Pascal Wehrlein. The gap was larger than that before.
Oh, definitely was. If you're Wehrlein, you're looking, you're just focusing on the car in front. If you're Edo Mortara, you're sort of starting to hear the Jaws music. You're looking in the mirror, and that Porsche is getting bigger and bigger, and you do not want to see that. You've led a lot of the race, 17 minutes plus a lap to go. I think he's going to have a battle on his hands before long.
Nick Cassidy sets the fastest lap of the race. The Envision Virgin Racing driver running in fourth place. And he is coming through the left-hander now of turn 4. But it is still Eduardo Mortara leading the way at the moment. 16.5 minutes plus 1 lap to go. Gunther running in 8th place for the BMW I Andretti team. Evans and Bird almost up into the points now. 10th, well, Evans is, Bird isn't quite. 10th and 11th for the Jaguar team. And this is Vern, Dennis and Lynn battling over 5th, 6th and 7th, and just at the back there is Roger Griffiths, the team principal of BMW I Andretti. Lynn and Gunza have a bit more usable energy than Jean-Eric Verne in front. Rowland has a bit less than Wehrlein and Mortara, but there's just half a second between the race leaders. Wehrlein has set the fastest first sector of anyone, and is now half a second off the back of Eduardo Mortara. 16 minutes plus 1 lap to go, and Pascal Wehrlein, the German, is right behind Eduardo Mortara. Here they come now to start another lap. How hard is Mortara going to fight? Is it going to be possible to fight Pascal Wehrlein with this pace advantage?
Well, if it is, I could guarantee you. But we've got a yellow flag at turn 8 again. Has gone, track is clear. I wonder if that's something to do with Oliver Turvey parking there. But absolutely, if there's any way Mortara can hang on to this lead, he will. The track, we've got a little bit break up right there, turn 1, exit of turn 11 too. I can see that catching somebody out before the end of this E-Prix. I really can.
On board with Pascal Wehrlein, the German, chasing down Swiss Eduardo Mortara, and this is the look back from Mortara with Wehrlein chasing him. Venturi versus Porsche.
And the Venturi with a Mercedes EQ powertrain in it. I have to say, Pascal Wehrlein is leaving nothing on the table. He's getting close to the walls, close to the grass. This is turn 8, the exit of 8. Look at the Mercedes EQ powertrain putting the power down. And let's see how close. Look how close Wehrlein is to the wall. Wehrlein's setting up for this pass. I think they'll be a bit cautious here in 11.
Cassidy's closing in on Oliver Rowland a little as well. The battle on for the lead of the Puebla E-Prix, round 9 of the ABB FIA Formula E World Championship. Next race in New York City in a few weeks' time. But Eduardo Mortara in the white and black Venturi is just ahead of the red, white and black Porsche of Pascal Wehrlein. As they come through the banked final corner here in Mexico's 4th largest city and come charging down towards turn 1 again. And Wehrlein, I would imagine, is just biding his time at the moment. And They're coming through the left-hander. There is Jake Dennis.
We have a yellow in turn 15.
Yeah.
Last corner. If that's the case, that could be a full course yellow.
Sims has just lost out to Bird. Evans and Bird are now both up into the top 10. Although, as I say that, Van Dorn has got ahead of Sims. So Sims is dropping down the field. So we'll try and... oh, and there he is.
That would be the best,
Yeah,
Sims is going to pull off at turn 1.
I think he might have got in the marbles in turn 15. Let's look at the damage to the right front of the car. That's what it looks like. He was having a great race as well, Alexander Sims.
Race leaders right together.
Pascal Wehrlein doesn't say much, but the anger you could see in his eyes, even today on the grid, he wants this win badly, and obviously the Porsche team want to make amends for the injustice that was done yesterday. So expect a big battle. We've got a yellow at turn 1 though, due to
Sims.
Yeah, Sims is coming up, but hopefully he's gone far enough down the escape road that they're not going to have a constant yellow, because that is the main overtaking opportunity off the lap. Unless you're, of course, Eduardo Mortara, you're thinking, fantastic. Oh, but the track is clear at turn 1. That's green light for Pascal Wehrlein to try the pass.
Through turn 15 and down towards the first corner we go again. 12 minutes plus 1 lap to go. Wehrlein right up behind Mortara. We're riding with the German. Just noses to the inside, a little bit of a twitch.
Did you hear the rears locking as he started to regenerate, pulled the paddle on the steering wheel to regenerate and then used the brakes?
Wehrlein scored points in the first 4 races of the season and then has failed to score in the last 4 races. But he's looking at scoring big today if he can get ahead of Eduardo Mortara. But both of these drivers are going to get launched into championship contention after this result. If they finish in first and second, whichever way around, they're going to be right in the title fight. And it's going to be fascinating to see what happens going through for the rest of the season.
Nick Cassidy in 4th is catching Oliver Rowland in 3rd. Quite comprehensively. Isn't it quick? Amazing how quickly things change in this championship.
You can see on the inset as well, Jake Dennis up behind Jean-Eric Verne. They're fighting over 5th and 6th places. No. I don't know what that was. Whatever the question was, the answer was no. Here they come again, the left-hander.
You can think, Pascal Wehrlein's going to get close here through 15, but then it's really going to depend who can stay on the throttle that bit longer. He's got slightly more energy than Eduardo Mortara. That might allow him to stay on the throttle for a second longer into the braking zone of turn 1. He's got to be closer than that to make a pass.
Dennis is close to the back of Jean-Eric Verne as well. France has a good amount of energy in 11th place. That's a lock-up from Alex Lynn, who is at the back of this 3-way queue. Verne, Dennis and Lynn right together, and they're kind of in a race of their own at the moment. Lynn has the most energy out of the 3 of them, but they're almost in reverse energy order at the moment.
And the difficult part for Lynn, he's got the extra energy, but when you use it, you've got to make it count, because he's only going to get one try at Jake Dennis or Jean-Eric Verne to use that extra energy to make the pass.
Next race is coming up in New York City, then we go to London in the middle of July before finishing the season with a doubleheader in Berlin in August. And we are only just over the halfway point of the season. Fans here, hopefully for some fans in London and fans in Berlin, which will be a fantastic way to end this first World Championship season for Formula E. And we've had some very entertaining racing so far this year, and this is a slow burner, but a fascinating one with real connotations at the top of the championship. And Mortara and Wehrlein, the longer Mortara keeps Wehrlein behind, I guess the happier he's going to be, or does it start to feel inevitable?
No, the problem for Mortara is Wehrlein is saving energy on the straight into the headwind every lap. He's just saving a bit of energy. The air's so thin here up at 2,000 meters plus, but he's just saving that bit of energy, so he's going to make one, I would imagine, heavy attack. Just a shout out to René Rast, 12th, started 24th and last. Oh, we see now Jake Dennis having to defend from Alex Lynn.
France is up into the points as well, so he has gone from 21st up to 10th position, the Envision Virgin Racing driver, which would give him an extra point at the top of the standings as we ride with Alex Lynn. The British driver from Essex right up behind Jake Dennis in the battle for 6th position, ultimately 5th place with Jean-Eric Verne at the front of this queue.
Lynn's problem is Max Günther closed up 4/10 that lap, so he's got to get past Jake Dennis, because pretty soon he's going to have a BMW in his mirrors otherwise. See, the balance of the Mahindra, again, looks pretty good. Lynn, very smooth steering inputs. Oh, and Verne spins!
Jean-Eric Verne throws it away from 5th place. Out of absolutely nowhere at turn 9, Jean-Eric Verne is facing backwards. I think he's recovered to still be in 7th place, but that opens up the door for Jake Dennis to move into 5th place, and this now is the battle for 5th and 6th. Meanwhile, up at the front, Mortara and Wehrlein right together. This is the closest Wehrlein has been. You can hear the Mexican fans applauding as the two race leaders once again come through, nose to tail down towards turn 1, but Mortara is so good through the final corner that Wehrlein looks like he's right with him, but Wehrlein pulls away. Onto the brakes into turn 1, and he's not close enough.
And the compromise, and lock-up from Mortara, but he got it stopped. The compromise is, Jack, you have the car that can work around this tightest section of the track where you really focus on turn 15. And clearly the Venturi guys have focused on 15.
And here's Gunther sending one from miles back, locked up. Verne sees him coming. He was looking in his mirrors all the way, and he knew if he wasn't careful, he was getting wiped out there.
That was smart stuff from Jean-Eric Verne. He's got to be kicking himself. I wonder if he was trying to hold on to the regeneration paddle, put more energy in, and to hold on to it later. And you'll just watch how, look how easy it just spins. Yeah, he's still regenerating, and around it goes. And that just shows you the tightrope that all these drivers are on. I mean, Jean-Eric Verne, double champion, spins away. It's not an easy thing any of these drivers are doing today.
Trying to use the brakes to put energy back into the battery so you can go faster for longer. Wehrlein's dropped way back here from Mortara on this lap, and it was in this middle sector, 1.3 seconds. So Wehrlein's made a big mistake in the middle sector.
Has he made a mistake? I saw him looking down. His head is, it looks like he's looking down at the steering. Has he got a problem, or has he made a mistake, Jack?
He's over a second slower than anyone else out there. There's a yellow flag now at turn 7. Oh, and in the wall, and I think that's Da Costa.
Yep.
The DS Techeetah driver has lost his front wing, and he is in the wall at turn 7. Antonio Felix Da Costa out of the race. It looks like he's driving off again, so we might escape without a safety car.
Almost lost it in turn 7.
And Wehrlein saying he almost lost it in turn 7. Carl Wilson-Clark saying, yeah, there's a crash at turn 7 as well. And Da Costa's managed to pull off the track, so we'll keep racing in green conditions, but it's getting treacherous out there. And Wehrlein has dropped back from Mortara, and that mistake could be the one that gives Mortara the advantage, and there he just gets wide and slams into the barriers. Antonio Felix Da Costa in the wall. Mortara still leads the way though.
You've got to say, Antonio Felix Da Costa, class move to get the car off the track, not cause a yellow, because at that point you want your day to end. Got a yellow at turn 4 now. These treacherous track conditions are catching people out left and right. But let's see if Pascal Wehrlein can regroup and go and attack again. Jake Dennis, is he in energy troubles? No, but Oliver Rowland has got 2% less than Nick Cassidy behind him. Nick Cassidy only 0.7 of a second behind, so the battle for the final podium position is on.
Yeah, Cassidy's having a great run. He's got a real shot at 3rd place here, but Edo Mortara has got a real shot at the race win. After that mistake for Pascal Wehrlein, Mortara has got a really strong advantage now, and they come across the line this time, and the lap times are similar again. But look, here's the battle for 3rd. Oliver Rowland in the Nissan, and Nick Cassidy in the purple Envision Virgin car, yet to have a podium in Formula E. This is his rookie season, the youngster from New Zealand, and he is very, very keen on getting through.
And he showed some really good pace, and that's an Audi powertrain in the Envision Virgin car. Oh, and he almost loses it though in 4, right in the middle of the corner. The back end of the car comes round. He's treacherous out there, Jack.
Certainly is. Cassidy we're on board with here coming into turn 7. Oh, onto the grass goes Rowland. Doesn't Da Costa it, but that'll have cost him a little bit of time.
And is Rowland's car damaged? That's the thing. It's one thing to drive at 99% when the car's damaged, but you've got to get up to 100%. It can definitely show. And look at the marbles again on the outside of the corner. That's the rubber just peeling off the tyre as the drivers lean on it.
On board with Cassidy. Left-hander of turn 11.
To the black lines, that's the rubber getting laid down on the circuit. You want to follow those as much as you can.
Wehrlein through the final corner. Eduardo Mortara is leading the way, but he's got a big advantage here in Puebla after this mistake from Pascal Wehrlein. He was right behind him and then got wide on the way in.
Yeah, he was a bit too far to the right through 6, and then that put him offline for 7. But great recovery from him. But it almost looks like it took him a couple of laps, or a couple of corners, to clean the tyres up.
Yeah, because that itself wasn't actually that dramatic a moment, but he came on the radio, said I made a big mistake at turn 7. That was it, but it just escalated from there. And now Eduardo Mortara for the Venturi team, looking to secure his and the team's second win in their Formula E history. Their first and only coming in Hong Kong in season 5 in Formula E's 50th race. That therefore was 26 races ago, because this is race number 78.
Oh, Nick Cassidy flicking the car into turn 8, leaving absolutely no margin for error on the grass that just caught out current drivers' champion Antonio Felix da Costa.
3 minutes plus 1 lap to go. Everybody similar in terms of usable energy. Roland a little less than Cassidy, but they're all going for the sort of same lap target, I would have thought. You can see Jean-Eric Verne in 8th place, the rear view from him as Mitch Evans is trying to get past.
Max Günther in 7th is absolutely flying, a 25.8 that lap. That's a fairly stout lap. He's obviously throwing caution to the wind with all the marbles out there and other people being a bit more cautious, but he's absolutely flying in the BMW.
Eduardo Mortara
Yes, Jack.
had a great first race in Diriyah, finished in 2nd place, then had a horrible practice crash, couldn't race in race 2. He's then had a load of misfortune, including not being allowed out or the car breaking down before qualifying in Rome and other such dramas. But when he does finish, he finishes well. And he's going to get, by the looks of things, a double podium this weekend. And he becomes a championship contender as Evans tries to get ahead of Verne. They're fighting still over 8th position. But really, really good stuff from Eduardo Mortara and the Rocket Venturi team. They've got the Mercedes EQ powertrain, but much smaller budget. They have to do their own software with the powertrain, and they're doing a really great job in the hands of Eduardo Mortara.
That's a great shot from the back of Jean-Eric Verne's car. Expect the close attentions of the Jaguar behind him, Mitch Evans in the number 20. And he's trying to just get any points he can. He's got 9th so far, 9th pace, 2 points. And he wants more. Again, how close they are in turn 8, trying to be as smooth as possible. This is turn 9. This is a corner that caught Jean-Eric Verne out a few laps ago. There you go. There's the front of a Jaguar. It's a pretty close view. Let's see if he sets up a pass into 11. It'll be brave right now with the treacherous conditions. A small lock-up from Jean-Eric Verne. You saw the puff of smoke.
Evans is right behind him, isn't he? And Cassidy's got Roland. Cassidy's got Roland. Nick Cassidy up into 3rd place ahead of Oliver Roland then at the, presumably then at turn 14, I guess. And the Envision Virgin car is up into 3rd place. We've got 1 minute plus a lap to go as we come across the line now. So 2 laps to go. Roland isn't happy. He's locked up. We're on board with him. And he gets it stopped just about, but that was all or nothing really there, wasn't it, for Oliver Roland? And he's come away with 4th place. So 2 laps to go here in Puebla. And now Evans is going for Verne. They lock up coming into the first corner, and Evans gets wide, and that gets Robin Freins closer to the back of him. So Freins has come from 21st to 10th and is now on the back of Mitch Evans.
And Mitch Evans did all that hard work to close the gap and just got put onto the marbles a little bit, and you saw the gap. But Robin Freins trying to, again, these are the guys that are going to be fighting out, I think, for the championship. So any advantage you can gain, 1 point here or there, I think is going to be critical when we get to the finale later on in the season in Berlin.
Mortara, Verline and Cassidy the top 3. Roland in 4th, Dennis in 5th, Lynn, Günther, Verne, Evans and Freins are the top 10. We've got Da Costa, Sims, Nato and De Vries all out of the E-Prix. But here's Eduardo Mortara, winner of the 2010 Formula 3 Championship. He beat Valtteri Bottas, Alexander Sims, Antonio Felix da Costa to that title. A really strong year. Went on to win Macau many, many times. He's won 1 race in Formula E, and now he's starting his final lap on his way to winning his 2nd. 2% energy to go. That should be enough to get him to the line. It's all quite spread out behind in the end, isn't it? Lynn and Günther are quite close together. Yellow flag at turn 7, though, on this final lap. So maybe someone's run into a bit of difficulty. Lock up from Max Günther coming into turn 1 as he's really trying to put the pressure on Alex Lynn. And there is Verline, how frustrated and looking mad all over the back of him. That's Mitch Evans, desperate to get past Vernon, and I think that's Blomqvist. Blomqvist has gone straight into the wall at 7. So that's why we've got the yellow flag there. He was running all the way down the order anyway. That shouldn't affect the end of this race because Mortara is already through.
Yeah, through turn 9, through the kink and 10. Let's see Nick Cassidy make the move.
Oh no, this was Roland trying to fight back at him, wasn't it?
Oh, the lock-up, yes, no. Great presence of mind from Nick Cassidy not to cut across back in front of Oliver Rowland. Good job by Oliver Rowland not to get onto the marbles on the outside. Eduardo Mortara, normally been a street course specialist, the bumpier the better. Hong Kong, as you said, Macau Jack, which he won about 3 million times. This is a different type of track, and he has done a masterful job today and yesterday. One
of the friendliest, nicest men in the paddock is about to take his second victory in Formula E. The Mexican fans are on their feet, applauding the Rocket Venturi of Eduardo Mortara, who comes through the final corner, wins in Puebla, and launches himself into championship contention. Brilliant drive from Mortara. Verline across the line in second. Cassidy gets his first podium in third. Roland fourth. The absolute delight in the Venturi garage. There's Max Günther, who finishes in 7th place behind Alex Lynn. And then we've got Vern and Evans. Are they still right together coming out across the line? Vern's out of energy, but he holds the place. And Rast got ahead of Freitz. Rast got Freitz on the final lap. What a drive from the Audi man. Absolutely superb performance.
Yes, I do confirm your thing.
And remember, Edo, the marshal will tell you directly to the podium,
wow.
Okay? With the car.
What a performance from Eduardo Mortara, who wins in Puebla.
Shall we speak to him?
Let's have a word with Eduardo Mortara on the radio, winner of round 9 of the championship.
Merci à tout le monde.
Merci à toi.
Merci à tout le monde. Ah, sans vous, on n'y arrive pas.
The team are just talking
sans
to
vous, on n'y arrive pas.
Bravo,
bravo.
in French on the radio.
Boulot. Ça me fait super plaisir, vous avez super bien bossé pendant la pause.
Listen to the crowd noise as well, as they cheer Mortara on. And let's give it a go.
For everything also.
Edo, it's Dario in TV.
Yes,
It gives
Dario.
me great pleasure to say well done. That was a terrific drive. Fantastic, well done.
Wow, what a day. What a weekend, actually. What a weekend for me, for the team. For Mercedes, actually, also. And I'm delighted. The boys did work so much during the break to make sure that we had a better, a more competitive car. I cannot thank them enough.
Fabulous job. Enjoy your win.
Thanks a lot, Dario.
Eduardo Mortara returning to the pit lane, thanking the team, thanking Mercedes EQ, who supply the powertrain. Jerome D'Ambrosio, his first win as part of the management team at Venturi. He and Susie Wolf overseeing that operation. And there is Nick Cassidy pulling up to line up in 3rd spot. It's yet another winner as well in this season of Formula E. That means that we've had 8 winners in 9 races. And here comes Eduardo Mortara up onto the top ramp of the podium. A double podium for Eduardo Mortara this weekend. Eduardo Mortara about to climb out of the car. Nick Cassidy goes over to congratulate him. What a weekend it's been for Rocket Venturi. A double podium finish. Pascal Wehrlein, no redemption for him today. A 2nd place finish is good for him in the championship standings. But Rocket Venturi will be delighted with this. For the 2nd time, they and Edo are the winners of a race in ABB FIA Formula E. And it's not that rapturous delight, was it, that we saw from Lucas Di Grassi yesterday. It is a calm, confident feeling of, we deserve this win. And they did a great job. Oh, look at that. Pascal Wehrlein under investigation for maximum power overuse. Wow, what a turn-up that would be for Pascal Wehrlein, because as it stands, he's going up towards the top of the championship contention. Well, we'll keep you up to date with that, obviously as best as we always try to, honestly. Wehrlein finishing in second. So Freins didn't score any points, Da Costa didn't score any points. Ras scored 1 point, so he goes up to 59. Mortara goes 10 points clear of Robin Freins at the top of the championship with this win. He goes up to 72 points. And I think Mortara will have broken away a 10-point lead at the top of the standings after this. We'll give you the official standings before too long. But this is a big, big result for Eduardo Mortara. These are the results after round 9 of the World Championship, the CBMM Niobe Puebla E-Prix. Eduardo Mortara taking the win. 2.2 seconds clear of Pascal Wehrlein, and Nick Cassidy is classified as 3rd. Oliver Rowland 4th, Jake Dennis 5th, Lynn, Gunther, Vern, Evans and Ras the top 10. Robin Freins and Sam Bird 11th and 12th. Then we got Van Dorn, Buemi, Eriksson, Sete Camera, Lotterer, De Grassi, Blomqvist. Well, actually, Blomqvist was the last of the first of the retirements. Sims, Turvey, Nato, De Vries, all retiring. So, as it stands, Eduardo Mortara will move 10 points clear of Robin Freins at the top of the championship. A huge margin in the process, or the history, I suppose, of Formula E. 10 points is huge. Delphine Biscay, who is up on the podium, the team manager of the Venturi team. And now we will move on to the 3rd place driver, Nick Cassidy, after a strong drive.
Cassidy from Ambition Virgin Racing.
He's had pace this year, Cassidy. He's led races. Hasn't been able to turn it into a result, but his mechanics were up until 4 AM this morning, fixing his car after he bent it yesterday. Wehrlein still under investigation, but he's going to enjoy this moment up on the podium. For the race winner, for the 2nd time in Formula E, it's Eduardo Mortara. He's shown pace so often, has finished in the points every time he's been in Mexico. This is his 3rd Mexico podium, and this time it is the top step for the 34-year-old Italian-Swiss racer, born in Geneva, now on the top step of the championship, and 10 points clear at the top of the championship. And now the Monegasque manufacturer Venturi.
And next,
The anthem for them. You can see the emotion for Edo on the top step. Top step of the podium then. And victory for the Venturi team.
CBMM Niobium Automobile responsible for North America, celebrating with Delphine.
And then Delphine Biscayne getting the trophy for the Venturi team. Had a long career in motorsport, has Delphine. She's been with Venturi since 2009. Before that, she was part of the Williams Grand Prix engineering, working on the KERS system and designing suspension parts. Then moved to Venturi, and she receives the trophy. Jose Abed hands out the podium for the trophy for Nick Cassidy. His first podium trophy in Formula E. He's got a pole position trophy. Daniela Luzanin, head of ABB Formula E partnership, gives the trophy to Pascal Wehrlein.
We are now inviting to the stage a young person representing the Sistema Estatal.
And this is Joan Poblano Gomez.
Winner trophy. Please welcome Joan Poblano Gomez to congratulate
Handing over the trophy to Eduardo Mortara.
From Rocky Venturi.
He's had some of the moments of the season, Mortara. Overtake of the season in Diriyah, save of the season in Rome, probably. But now, the top step in the win. And now he will take the podium selfie. Trying to get the camera working. Oh, Pascal's going to help him. There we go. Good job. And there's the top three. We'll get there in the end. You do it. I'll do it. Pascal will do it. He's good on the Insta.
And to congratulate our champion, here's a special gift.
And there is the celebrations that begin. But Beatriz Sanchez has not been given, has not given him his Moet yet. Here we go. Now he's got it. And finally, Eduardo Mortara gets his bottle of Moet. Cheers us with Wehrlein. And he wants to drink it first. And now the celebrations begin for Mortara. Drenching Delphine. 10 points clear at the top of the championship, Eduardo Mortara. We've seen people 1 point, 2 point, 1 point clear at the top of the standings. But well might he celebrate. The next race in New York City. And Mortara will arrive there, 10 points clear at the top of the standings.
Fabulosa, fabuloso, fabuloso, fabulosa, fabulosa. Siempre clodado, nunca mitolín.
And we go green in Puebla. Eduardo Mortara wins in Puebla.